YouTube channel near you.
My paper slipped. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello there, Roger Blair, Gary, Tammy Johnson, Rebecca. She's got the tow truck on standby, everybody. And here she is from whatever state she's from. Hello, Val. Kathy A. Hello there, little twisted. Angela, Rita, everybody. Welcome. Liana. Nice to see you, Liana, on a Friday evening. And Jennifer, where are you broadcasting live from?
I'm broadcasting from Las Vegas at the Wingate Resort for an APA pool championship.
Oh, yeah.
So hi, everyone.
Welcome.
And this time difference is kicking my butt.
Yeah, tell me, right? And y'all laughed at me when I was like 3 hours difference. But what's interesting is I was showing somebody your voodoo doll somebody made for the pool. And they're like, what the heck? I'm like, I know, it's to the front door, right? So welcome, everybody, on a Friday evening, broadcasting right outside Louisville, Kentucky. Hello, Melinda. Welcome.
So her name is Voodandra.
Oh, you got her? You going to show her?
Oh, I don't have her with me. She's my husband's good luck charm. But yeah, if he brings her down, I'll show her. She'll just pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
And
so, ladies and gentlemen, the other night she was bored and she got her electronics out and was communicating with the doll. And I'm like, oh, anyways. So let's talk about Jennifer. It's her fault we're doing this show. This show is for entertainment purposes only. All parties are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We have to throw it up there. But yes. I know. There's Angela saying, oh, those dolls. I know. So. Wait, did you hit a button? Anyways, hi, everybody. Hey, Michelle. Nice to see you. But yeah, so Jeffrey Epstein, or whatever. We did make it to the next week, to part 2. So the government didn't snuff us out, so that's good.
Yeah, it was a little worried. No warnings from the fibbies.
Yeah, right. But I wanted to hear also from the people that worked on the case what their first impression was when they got the picture. So let's start with Kelly Joe. Welcome, Kelly.
Hi.
Hey, Kelly.
Pictures here. So what'd you think when you first got the what the
I
heck?
went, whoa. Alrighty then. Well, what I got was there was a setup, there was a payoff, it was staged, and he was murdered.
Wow.
And he knew too much, had too many connections.
That is, what's really evident is that the book is still with the government. But anyways. But yeah, so, I really thought Jennifer wanted to do the show. So I was working on it and she's like, I got a case for everybody. I'm like, what do you mean you got a case? I'm almost done. And she's like, oh, and I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, don't owe me. And then Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, when she first looked at the picture in the group chat, went, wow. Wow. You never know. Hey, Gary Spikes, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Round of applause there, Gary. Hopefully you're feeling a lot better. Thank you.
Hey, Gary.
So, but yeah, did you have any problems like looking at it, or how did it work for you?
No, it just was, it's like, oh, he was helped along.
Helped along. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious matter. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not making fun of it. No,
I'm not either. But I was like checking my car to make sure my brakes didn't go out. And then
I had to get on an airplane. Let me tell you.
Anyway,
I was hoping to make it through security.
It's like a whole conglomeration of who knows who and big hitters and it's just a big, huge thing.
Yeah, it is. Welcome, Susan, after the show. All right, stand by there, Kelly. Okay. Where your picture? All right, next up, Christopher. He's always smiling. Every time I say his name, he's always smiling. Welcome, Christopher. So when you first saw the picture, what came to your mind?
Well, I know that guy somewhere. I thought, well, he's not not family. Then I kind of looked at it and went, wait a minute. I've seen him on the news before. I thought, probably so. Then, so I started working the remote viewing. I'm like, this is him? I thought, holy moly.
I can't help it, ladies and gentlemen. Christopher, you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. But I couldn't see everybody's face because I wasn't, honing in on the group chat. But Kelly's I saw when she put wow, she was like, wow, well, anyways. So what'd you come up with, Christopher?
Well, right away, as soon as I started working, I immediately had the word cheating. Then I also had the word betting. Like, I didn't try and figure out if he was like a betting man or if he was betting on women. But I had cheating. Then I got the word betting. But I also heard, as I got going further, I had several pages of lies. There was also a cover-up involved in him. And I felt like he had anger problems. The more I got into it, I felt like he was angry. Like, if he didn't get his way, he wasn't happy. And if he wasn't happy, he made sure everybody felt that way. And then I felt like he was hiding facts. Like, there were certain things that he knew. Even to this day, if he was alive, he wouldn't say nothing because these facts were more than what people should know. I felt there was money involved. I felt like he had kept a lot of lies and stuff from his family, like they weren't talking to each other. I also felt that he knew he was going to be. He knew before he's even put in prison. I felt like he knew he was going to be eventually in prison. And the night of his assuming that night that he passed away or died, I felt like I kept hearing the word over and over: ambush, ambush, ambush. Like it was like a planned ambush. And I felt like that he wasn't breathing, like it was to do with his throat or neck. But I also felt like he couldn't fight back, and I felt like there was cell phones involved, and I couldn't figure out what the cell phone was for. Then it occurred to me because as I got going, I felt like guards that were supposed to be like monitoring the situation. I felt like there was like cell phone and games going on, like they weren't really paying attention too often, like they should. But everything's okay; they don't have to worry about it, something like that. And then towards the end, as I tried to regroup and just focus more on the why and how of the situation, I felt like this whole, if you want to call it like a conspiracy or cover up, was like a shut up. You don't say nothing. Everything's okay. This is the way it's supposed to be. Here you go. Take this. Be quiet. And then I also felt like this will make more sense or work out better for everybody in the long run. And that was my work.
Yeah. So first off, Rita, how dare you distract Chris with that comment that how much you love his shirt? Chris was in the middle of talking, and he saw his shirt and love, and he like leaned forward to read the comment. But I love it to death. So yeah, I mean So here's one thing I don't understand, right? Well, never mind. We still got more people. Stand by, Christopher. Thank you. Round of applause for you. All right.
This is for
Go. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Christopher.
I said, this is for you, Rita.
And there you go, Rita. Love some shirt, right? Love some shirt. All right, Chris, we're standing by. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Inbo, I don't think is going to be able to make it. I think she's stuck in traffic. And Melinda is in Tennessee dealing with some family issues and so forth. So prayers go out to her and some good thoughts. So, yeah. Next up, Angela, come on down. How you doing, Angela?
Hey, hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
So wonderful. So when you first saw the picture, what came to mind?
Well, at the time, years ago, I actually had spirits come to me that were on his island.
Shut the front door. Really?
Yeah, years ago. So, and they actually introduced themselves, and they were telling me that they were other victims, and they were in the waters in the island, and they were just dumped in the island offshore, and that their bones were still there, and that was being covered up.
Oh, that was a rumor that surfaced years ago and like got squashed like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one of the women that came to me, a young girl, told me about how terrifying, because there wasn't any rules or laws on this island. It's like, no, there's no protection. They have no rights. And how, when they realized they would get when they got there, how much their lives were actually in danger. And the entertainment included killing them.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah. My phone's blowing up, and I'm like, oh, I was like stroking. I'm like, oh, we're getting flagged already. But no, I mean, it's what's very weird, and we're going to cover some of this, is that things come to light and things come out of the light, but never through the light and displayed in public. And I think we know why that happens. But Michelle, actually, that was a rumor that somebody was looking into, because evidently it's out now. Whoever went to the island was tracked in books. And these books was some reassurance for something later if anything ever came out. However, I think they were like, screw you, we're going to take you out.
I think someone still has those books.
Yeah. And my impressions are a little bit different, because I got impression that there was that he was actually state sponsored. So there is a state, a nation, that was actually using his operations to blackmail certain politicians and people in power. And this state, it was state sponsored, and that he had a body double or a clone. So it was the body double that was killed in prison, and was murdered, and that was staged. And I'm strongly feeling that this person who said they were going to arrest, or said that was in prison, wasn't really the one that was arrested, and that he's still alive and he's still working for this organization, for this state, doing the blackmailing, that his island is back in service, that his network is still in service because it is state sponsored, and he's still alive and still operating till this day.
So it's interesting that you say that, because that has been a conspiracy theory for a long time, right, Jennifer?
Yep, and it sure has.
What happened to me in connection with this? So I was actually moved by the Holy Spirit to pray against this network. And I prayed really hard every night. And then I had an entity come to me. In fact, I was in bed, I was just laying down, and this entity had introduced itself. It was a demonic entity, and there were many demonic entities that were feeding off of this violence and off of this, what was going on. And it actually attacked me. It picked up my bed and dropped it 3 times. It was hissing. It was physically present in my room, and it punched me in the ribs. And I actually had, my ribs hurt for like 3 months. So I had bruised ribs from it. And I had to say the Hail Mary. Mary came and sent that thing packing, the Blessed Mother. And I had confrontation with it later. And eventually it's not a problem with me. It will never be a problem. It ultimately was disbanded and destroyed. But these networks are actually protected by spiritual entities, dark entities that feed on the suffering and off the torment and off the energy that this is generating. So if you think that you can't do anything, you can actually pray against these entities, and people will get arrested, and things will be brought to the light, because these entities will not be able to cover up for them anymore.
That is crazy. Yeah. So after, you don't know this, Chris, after we did the first show, I woke up feeling like I had bruised ribs. And I meditated, and I saw this black ball of energy hit me at the solar plexus, and I felt like I had bruised ribs. And I actually had to go to a friend of mine who does energy eating and removal to get it off of me. Even my friend who does shamanic could not do it. And I still feel a peace with me. He got a lot of it out, but I still feel it.
What is wrong with you? And you're just now telling me this live on the air.
And
I didn't know it was connected to you. I thought it was just the crap I live with every day. No, I mean the show, like this whole thing. I thought it was just the crap I walk in every day.
Lord have mercy, everybody. I tell you.
And after this incident is when, like, the very next day was when his arrest was announced. After that thing was defeated.
Wow.
That entity had a name and was assigned to that Pacific network and territory. And I would
love to, in a chat, get that name, please. if you're okay to share it in a chat
yeah,
later,
absolutely.
private. Okay,
All right.
I got to get rid of it.
Yeah, so stand by there, Angela. Thank you very much. Round of applause here. And I'm going to make sure I'm hitting the right buttons, and we'll bring it right back here. So what's really weird, right, and strange is that, why is that in my face? And wait a minute. Hold up.
Wait, what? Wait,
Shut the
what?
front door. We got Envil just came to the show. Welcome, Envil.
Hey, lady.
So-
Hey, that was a swift
She did make it. So
I
she
just
made it.
walked in and here I am.
So let me ask you this, Envil. Right? When you first saw that photograph, what came to your mind?
Do you know, I have been, it's actually sort of really weird from my perspective as a Jew in Britain, because I saw it and I thought, wow, I did everything in my power to just stay away from the whole storm, because it was a great embarrassment for the Jewish community, for somebody who maybe wasn't really practicing but had such an obvious sounding surname. But there was an extra angle of it in the UK, because there was a very famous TV appearance by what at the time was a lead politician, who made a point of pronouncing the surname in a way that made it so much more obvious what the intent was. So I have been like consciously deciding that I don't want to know too much about it. And then the photo came earlier this week. And I thought, as somebody who really believes in signs, I should probably look into it. So you know that I've just come from off the road. I took my children to the seaside. It's 11 p.m. We just made it home. I bathed everybody. I washed their beach balls and washed myself really quickly. And I was like, no, I'm making it on the show. I'm making it on the show after letting you know that I might not be able to make it because it's a busy day. So I am so into shuffling and finding out, because
Oh my God,
I
this is
probably know less than any person in the Western world.
I know, right?
Right, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Because I decided that was not going to be part of my I don't know, part of the way that I observe what happened. I wanted to keep it very impersonal, but if we're looking into it, and especially considering the nature of the show, and we've always looked into stuff that to me was very super distant and still managed to get like real good hitters, we might as well put our skills to good use. So,
oh my Lord, it's going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Envil, go ahead, take it away.
So I'm going to pull up the photo so that I've got it in front of me. You can still see me, right? My camera's still working?
Yes.
Lovely. And as I work with tarot cards, I'm having a lovely shuffle, and I'm going to start with just 3 cards for a general of the story, of a general of the situation. And on the one hand, it says that this end was kind of a long time coming. It shows that he has been considering that kind of an ending. He's braced himself for it. But I actually feel like towards the end, he had a little boost of optimism. So I'm still uncertain exactly what happened there, because that boost of optimism doesn't sit together with what we've got, on the certificates. So let me ask really the big question right out. Was it fully intentional or not? Not fully intentional, I've really got goosebumps saying it, but even though he pushed towards, a kind of unnatural termination, he was not at that time going to go fully ahead with it. And so I feel like there was help from outside sources. So obviously outside sources can only be the people, you know, on the job around him. So I'm very curious. I'm going to ask whether it was just people turning a blind eye and making it possible, or whether there was more to it. Right. The majority of the circumstances being possible, the majority was intentional neglect. The majority was that he was left to go ahead with it. I don't see that there was anybody actually there to, you know, assist him in his passing. Having said that, I feel like there was one main person out of three who did whatever they could just to make his final few days as unpleasant as possible. So what I've got around it is more of bickering and unpleasantness, and obviously not to take away from the horrific crimes. There are people there that are, you know, there to do a job, and they did not do the job that they were hired to do, which was to, you know, to keep an eye and to make sure that everything was going in order. Let me ask whether it was only staff members or if anybody outside was a part of it. It was almost only staff members, but I still feel like there's one person who wasn't involved in it, maybe a guard's wife, something like that, something that's like 1 degree of separation, who was quite keen for the story to become as gory as possible. And even though it's, you know, it's impossible in many ways, I still believe that a good 90% of the truth would come out in the end. So in terms of the intentional neglect, I feel like first and foremost is that he was left to do his own thing really, really often. And, you know, even for people who don't read the tarot, I have to show you I thought I'll take three cards to see like maybe 3 different circumstances. I really like the number 3 when I read. And one is a card of peace, showing that he was left, you know, in peace. So instead of being observed ardently. One is a card with a lonely home with a moat around it. So again, showing that he was left alone, which he wasn't supposed to. And the third one is the Hermit card that shows a man alone in his space. So even though, in my uninformed opinion, I think, well, leaving someone alone is not a crime, the fact that the tarot is really pointedly screaming about the fact that he was left alone very likely means that in and of itself was already a very serious circumstance. So that's what I've got. So I've got one main person, 3 others. One of the other people is outside, the others are inside. So yeah, what do we know? What did everybody else say?
So everybody's along the same lines. Well, let me ask you this, because I was getting images while you were talking, and I never looked into it. So I am seeing one person inside and 2 others on the outside, keeping an eye as this is unfolding. I also see, I can't believe I'm even talking about it with you guys. I'm also seeing that he had an opportunity to either to take care of himself or it was going to be arranged. Am I right on that?
Yes, I feel like they had backup, but I feel like the backup that they had my goosebumps are saying that they kind of knew they weren't going to need it. So chills, see Michelle saying chills, we've got
Yeah,
this
yeah, right.
chills, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, I do not look at any cases at all.
Yeah.
I do not pry. But as Invo was speaking, I was getting images, and it's very strange for me to get images. And as she was talking about her tarot cards and what she was seeing, I was getting confirmation what she was saying, and that was like real creepy. And what was weird as I was asking that, my monitor was like vibrating in and out, like I was trying to see in another realm, but it wouldn't try. It couldn't come through. So that kind of freaked me out. So yeah,
I kept hearing.
Yes.
I kept hearing the shadow was there. The shadow was there. The shadow was there.
Right. Exactly. So I feel like there was somebody shadowing. They kind of knew that it would probably not be necessary. It was, what you could think of as a belt and braces approach. It was probably plan A was almost 100%, but there was a plan B in place just in case. And also with you saying that the monitor goes in and out, it's the energies, like psychic energies and technology, they're not the best of friends.
No,
that's why there's so few people, right? People who are good at computers and at psychic stuff, and all of them are watching us.
All right. We'll stand by. Thank you. So Jennifer, that was a hell of an experience I just saw. I mean, it actually scared me. So Susan asked, Grizzly, how is everyone tasked with our show? So anytime that somebody is on our show, what we do is we submit a picture, Susan, and this is this is all they get, nothing else. We leave it up to them to have professional ethics and not to do a reverse picture search and use technology to gain interest, because everybody's been vetted and been tested before they are allowed to come on our show and to participate. So this is all they get. We don't give them date of births. We don't give them Gemini or your charts, or no, it's it, just a picture. And we ask them, do your thing, and come back to us on next week's show and tell us what you come up with. And then we take everybody that is able to participate, because we don't know who's going to come up to the show every week. Life happens, schedule changes, stuck in traffic. So, I know, right? I just saw the comment, the poor girl in the background, the picture. Yeah, I saw that earlier. But that's how we do our crime shows and missing persons and cold cases. And a lot of times, some of the cases we have, there is no social media. There is no news channels, no coverage at all. So no matter what you look, you're not going to find it or the information about the person. So, yeah, Susan, good question. And maybe we should, revisit that from time to time throughout the different shows to let other viewers know how this works. So, yeah, thank you. Jennifer, before I start showing some news clips, I held up 3. And I was showing you 3 as you was walking around. And you know what
held
those
up
3?
3?
Yeah, I did, because somebody was talking about 3 guards. And what we talk about on the first show. 3.
Yeah.
The 3, right?
3. Yep.
So
I was just going to say that. Okay.
No, Susan. No, we're not taking disrespect about anybody's question about how the show works and how everybody with abilities works on the cases. No, we did not take it that way, but we're always open to questions and to get people to understand how we do things in the process. So yeah, absolutely. All right. Now, the first one up. Here we go. Let me stop sharing this photograph in my backside. And all right, here. Let's see. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
And The Rock generate hundreds of millions of dollars. It's actually documents and what they now reveal. Here's ABC's Aaron Petersky.
The news came as a shock when told Jeffrey Epstein, the nation's most notorious sex offender, had passed in jail. A prosecutor responded, "What do you mean by passed?" As the stunning news spread, prosecutors seemingly knew little. We are getting increasingly frantic calls, one wrote in emails, calling the lack of information from prison officials frankly unbelievable and extraordinarily frustrating. The accounts appearing in newly released records about Epstein's troubled final days. He wrote to Larry Nassar, the doctor convicted of abusing gymnasts. Letter preferential treatment from the legal system when a federal judge denied him bail, assuring he would remain locked up while awaiting trial on sex charges. The records suggest Epstein spiraled. He denied being suicidal, even referring to himself as a coward. But on August 10th, 2019, Epstein died by suicide. The records show a guard was bringing breakfast just after 6:30 a.m. when Epstein was discovered unresponsive, an orange noose made from bed sheets found in his cell. And nearly 4 years later, David, the Justice Department is still investigating how Epstein, at the time the highest profile federal inmate, was able to die by suicide while in custody here in New York. We're told, David, a final report could come very soon. David?
Of course, that is still a major question. Aaron Katursky on this case again.
Oh, Bia.
You commented on those bed sheets too, because I showed you a picture of that cell. That is not protocol in general, is it? Is it for someone under suicide watch?
I'm actually pulling out the photograph now.
Of the cell?
Yeah, to show everybody. So anytime that you are in a suicide watch, ladies and gentlemen, to be awful, or not to be awful, but let's be honest and frank. They will strip you of everything that you are wearing. They will remove any type of clothing. No jury's allowed in any jail cell. You're stripped of that at booking, at Sallyport, we call it. But when this picture was showed on the first show, that is not realistic. That right there, when we had to go into the jail cells and raid them, I hate doing that at night, but we had to do that every so often in our facility. You were not allowed any type of extra clothing, any type of extra bedding, any type of extra toilet paper, and the outfits. Are you crazy? Come on, no. That, and Jennifer, when she first showed me this picture, I was like, there's no way. There is no way. No. Yeah,
that's. They even said he got extra. What?
Yeah, I mean, no. And what was weird is that when Jennifer was disclosing some of the information, when they were talking to him about being suicidal, he's like, "No, I'm fine. I don't have no problems. What do you keep talking to me about this?" So,
well, and the attorneys also said, his attorney came out and said this was not a snowball's chance, and that we were going to file. Like, they felt they had a good case. They came away from that meeting. Everybody was positive. They had a lot of case law on their side, a lot of great arguments. It wasn't anything like, well, we're just going to throw some stuff out and see what sticks kind of thing.
Yeah. And then on top of that, what was weird is that his facility, there were cameras. And all of a sudden, the cameras around his cell were not working, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, really? And then the guards had to manually keep track of what they were doing every half hour. And that was by their SOP, standard operating procedure, on what they're supposed to do to validate who's in the cell. And as they do their walks, they're supposed to write everything down. Now, why Jennifer is talking, I am going to bring up, let's see, what was it? The jail, the SR.
There was a log, and it was actually every 15 minutes in this situation that they were supposed to be checking on him, writing down what they observed, and initialing it. And then I think their duty, whatever, had to initial as well, that they did this.
Right. Okay. So, all right, here we go. So, and, what do you mean, I was like, man, I think Big Brother's like messing with my computer. They did that once a few years ago. I didn't believe it at first, but here we go. And action, ladies and gentlemen.
Of Jeffrey Epstein's associates and contacts could be revealed in the new year as a trove of court documents are set to be released. We're digging deeper into what that could mean for those with alleged connections to the convicted sex offender.
Steve Hawkins was there.
Court case the documents are a part of.
How are you doing?
With freelance journalist Daniel Bates, who has been following the story. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. He is one of the most infamous names worldwide.
Oh, everybody knows the wrong one.
Jeffrey Epstein, convicted sex offender. He died in a New York prison in August of 2019 as he was awaiting trial on charges that he engaged in sex trafficking of young girls. He ended up hanging himself. But now, more than 4 years later, we are learning more about the people connected to him and his operation. Now, this all stems from a lawsuit that was filed by an alleged victim, Virginia Roberts. She claims that Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, set up her to be assaulted by Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. Maxwell was convicted of child sex trafficking in 2021. She's currently serving a 20-year sentence in a Florida prison. But Roberts sued Maxwell for defamation in 2015, and the case was settled, but it didn't end there because media outlets had requested all of these documents that were involved in the case. They wanted them to be made public. Well, now Judge Loretta Preska of the Southern District of New York has decided that over 150 names connected to Epstein and Maxwell will be unsealed in full in all of these hundreds of files.
All right. Now, I found what I was looking for. That wasn't it.
When's that going to be? The first day of February.
All right. Let's see if I can pull this up here. Ah, Jennifer, you don't have the actual photograph you showed last time, did you? You have that saved where you can forward it to me? And the reason why I'm asking Jennifer to show you this is the logbook. And this is what, when Jennifer was showing the logbook of the correction officers that morning, I was like, oh, no way. That logbook is been doctored. And everybody's like, what are you talking about, Grizzly? I'm like, hold up for a second. Now, I've taken handwriting analysis. Did you find it?
No, I can't. It's going to kick me out of the show if I do it. Click on those photos you had up there and it should blow up.
All right. So, but the logbook, when she's displayed that, it was like, it was written all at once. It wasn't written every 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to show you why I say that. So let me go back to the logbook here, or a logbook. Let's see here. Here we go. All right. And your connection is not private. Well, we are not going back to safety. We're going to, yeah, we are going back to safety because I just got flagged.
Uh-oh. We're not going to live on the edge?
No, not tonight.
Oh, okay.
Let me try
Good
this
call. Good call.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Wow, this is like insane. Okay. What the heck? Okay, here we go. All right.
Okay, cool.
Here. All right. How's that made me nervous? and Vol and everybody's laughing. It's not funny, Emble. All right, here we go. In action.
The Associated Press obtained about 4,000 pages of documents.
What happened? Hold up. Now, skip
related to the death of Jeffrey.
Now, look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Look at this document. This is an actual copy of a guard monitoring Jeffrey on 7/30/19, the morning of. Now, when we look at this, okay, Mercury in retrograde. Thanks, Michelle. When we look at this, what do you see? You see everything that is nice, neat, orientated.
It looks like when we got punished in grade school and we had to write a phrase over and over as punishment. That's what it looks like.
So when I first saw this, when Jennifer showed this on part 1, I was like, no way, that's fabricated. And everybody, what are you talking about? I was like, first off, that was written all at once, ladies and gentlemen. And you're like, how do you know that? I'm going to show you why I know that. So let me get exhibit 2. And we're going to go to a random officer here. Let's see here, correction officer log, and let's take out Jeffrey's name. Let's just take officer log. All right, I may have to put handwritten log. All right, so, and right here, that's not a good example. Hold on. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Let me put handwritten log here. Correction officers, handwritten log. All right. And let's see what populates. And of course, I should have saved everything from the first show. All right. So here is example. Let me scroll down. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Handwritten officer log. Like somebody's like changing the keywords here. So it should pull up my same searches, but it's not. Yeah, I know. I'm like, this is not normal.
No.
Let's see here. On tour, let's put that. It's not giving me any examples. Security, let's put security log, handwritten. All right, here. Here we go.
There we go.
There we go. So now this is an older one, which I'll show you another example, but I just want to show you this. Let's see here. What did I do, Jennifer? Did I knock you out? So right here. So this is an officer log. It don't matter about the gear. Look at the difference. Look at the difference on this. Different types of penmanship, different angles, different pressure points. Some words are up, some words are down. Some words are angled, some words are pushed a little harder. Some words are slanted with different types of phrases and how they are positioned on paper. This right now, I can tell was written at 5 o'clock a.m., 5:30 a.m. I can tell between this time, the person came back and rewrote this or wrote this. This is a documentation that has not been set down at one time and filled out completely. This document has been filled out over time. You can tell each time this person came back and sat with something in his hand to fill it out. Look, most people don't have good handwriting. Mine looks like chicken scratch. I ain't gonna lie. My lieutenant used to get mad at me. But I'm just telling you, look at this and look at what everybody's showing you in the media when it comes to the information on the officer log that this is written every 15 minutes the whole morning until they found the body.
And there was a bunch of redaction too on the one from the night before or the morning of he was discovered too. The initials redacted. There was a whole bunch of stuff redacted.
Now,
what does it matter? We know who the guards were. What does it matter?
Here's another example. This document right here was written in 2 phases. And if you look at it, you can tell by looking at it, the first section, and I didn't go to school for nothing and taking all those damn classes for nothing. If you look here, this was written at one time. If you look further down, Look at the difference in the penmanship when it comes to the darkness of the ballpoint pen. Now, I'm not going to get into about being stressed, about being deceitful, not telling the truth. When you stop writing and when you continue to write and pick up, and how you pick up your pen and how you drag your pen and leave these little marks as breadcrumbs as you are writing.
And that's also assuming you're always using the same pen.
Let me tell you something. I worked for this one company, was a multi-trillion-dollar company, and they had an issue with somebody writing stuff and causing problems. And they're like, Grizzly's here. Give me the paper and give me 3 of your suspects, and Grizzly would tell us who it is. They thought it was a joke. They brought it to me. I only looked at it 45 seconds. I'm like, this one wrote everything. And they're like, shut the front door. I'm like, yeah. So they brought him in and interviewed him.
Wow,
And
that's
they're like,
amazing.
They're like, watch, get Grizzly in the interview room. 13 minutes later, I had a full confession, and the guy went to jail. I'm telling you, if you learn how to understand people's penmanship, man, you can tell them if they are crazy, if they're insane, if they're depressed, if they are, you know. But I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's fascinating to learn that.
Yeah.
Why do you think when you're at an employment, a job, they do not let you type statements? They want you to handwrite them because they got people like me behind that door analyzing your handwriting and deciphering it to them about your state of mind and what's going through your head and if you're telling the truth or not. And what's sad is that people in this country will listen to this on the media and believe it hook, line, and sinker. It don't matter if it's Jeffrey. It don't matter if it's a politician. It don't matter if it's the president. And everybody believes it.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yep.
Sorry. I didn't mean to get on that rant.
No, but we lose common sense because, you know, we just get brainwashed and someone else is doing our thinking for us. So it's easier instead of doing it for yourself, you know?
Right.
It's crazy. Just like our short-term memory. I don't know, why did I walk in the room? What did I need? That's what one campaign right now is hoping for.
And we'll bring everybody back on.
Yeah.
I just wanted you all to see that because a lot of people don't understand that. And that's why when you go to quit or you're forced to quit or you're forced to resign, they do not let you type it. They want it handwritten, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason why there's handwritten because it tells you all about yourself and about your character.
We have a lot of businesses here that even if you apply online, they make you, when you go for your interview, refill out a written application.
Yes. Right. And it's just facts, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're in law enforcement, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You had the classes, the same people I probably had classes with and certifications. But I did want to show this little clip. I don't know if I could show that one. We'll probably get dinged. So let me get another one here real quick.
Living on the edge, Chris. Living on the edge.
I know, right? I'm nervous. All right. Let's not do that one. Let's not do that one. All right. Well, all right, here we go. And action, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's like, what the hell, we're Greasy? I know, just bear with me here. Give me a second here. I get nervous about some of these shows. I ain't gonna lie. Because I know who's watching.
Allegedly used his own private island to host scores of underage girls. Many things about Epstein are still mired in secrecy, including the activities that took place on the island. So whatever happened to the billionaire's Caribbean home? In 1998, Jeffrey Epstein bought a 75-acre island called Little St. James for $7.95 million. On it, he built a sprawling estate that was mostly hidden from public view. The sizable complex contained a spa, a gym, and a swimming pool, among various other amenities.
It was Little St. Jeff's. That was his nickname for it.
Epstein also bought the island next door, Great St. James, in 2016. Known as Pedophile Island to local Virgin Islanders, horrifying stories about the island of Little St. James continue to generate grim fascination. Local witnesses living on nearby St. Thomas reported that they regularly saw girls coming and going to the island, some of whom were young children. The long list of high-profile figures rumored to have visited Little St. James is also very extensive, featuring everyone from Bill Clinton to Stephen Hawking. Prince Andrew even admitted to visiting it during his infamous BBC interview.
Just for the record, you've been on his private plane.
Yes.
You've been to stay on his private island.
Yes.
2 days after Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his prison
He didn't
cell,
like that.
the FBI raided Little St. James as part of its investigation. The official Epstein task force hoped to find more information about his purported trafficking ring, but would not speak to the media about what they uncovered. FBI agents weren't the only visitors, though, and given the general fascination with the rumors surrounding the island, it's no surprise. In 2019, 2 YouTubers, Jeff Berwick and Luke Radowski, took matters into their own hands and convinced a local to drop them off by boat. The pair were able to explore for 30 minutes before escaping when they spotted other people on the island driving golf carts. Radkowski and Berwick were particularly interested in investigating a blue and white striped building on the island known as the Temple. The odd building has sparked a host of wild conspiracy theories online, with some people calling it a ritualistic abuse site. According to Insider, however, the most plausible theory is that it's a music room. Following the death of Jeffrey Epstein, a 3-year-long legal battle unfolded over his estate. It was ultimately decided in 2022 that the estate owed $105 million to the Virgin Islands to settle sex trafficking claims and would also have to sell his 2 islands. As part of the settlement deal, it was agreed that half the money from the sale of the 2 islands would go to the territorial government. Officials said this money would go to a government trust to fund programs for victims of sexual abuse. As of 2022, the estate had paid $121 million to 136 women abused by Epstein. In addition to providing for the sex abuse victims, the executors also had to pay out a lump sum for the environmental damage done to the islands themselves. The area around the 2 pieces of land is surrounded by delicate coral reefs and teeming with wildlife. However, Epstein refused to follow planning regulations and simply built whatever he wanted, incurring considerable damage. Environmental inspectors who arrived on the island were simply waved away at the dock. It is believed that undoing the damage will be quite expensive, and the estate was forced to fork over $450,000 to help pay for it. Although both islands were originally priced at $55 million each, they eventually sold for far less. Billionaire Stephen Dekoff was able to buy both for just $60 million in 2023. Little St. James in particular cost the billionaire mogul just $8 million. Dekoff, who is the founder of the private equity firm Black Diamond Management, is deeply invested in the Virgin Islands, both literally and figuratively, having lived there for more than 10 years. He intends to transform the sordid island into a world-class resort, and he is currently in the process of recruiting engineers and architects to have his dream realized. According to a press release, Dekoff hopes that the resort will be open as soon as 2025. If you or someone you know may be the victim of child abuse, please contact the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-48-CHILD, 1-800-422-4453, or contact their live chat services.
So it's very informational purpose for that video I shared. The question was asked. Oh, it's still playing. I was like, wait, I said, where's that? Anyways, but the question is how do you decipher handwriting analysis if the handwriting is not clear? We also look at the words they use and how they are structured in a sentence. I'm not going to give too much out on that because I don't think law enforcement will appreciate it, but it will tell you specifically a person's intentions, their thoughts, where they're going, how they're going, and where it came from. Now, these days, they have software. It's called handwriting analysis programs or software, where you can take somebody's statement and copy and paste it in there or retype it, and it will show you how they use certain words, first person, second person, third person. They'll also show you how they are related to, let's say, their wife or girlfriend. And then when something happens to where somebody gets hurt or they die, how they put space and distance between them. And I'm going to stop there because I don't want to reveal too much. It's
Wow.
very in depth. And you can buy the book on Amazon that law enforcement has access to and the people that teach these courses. So that's why certain companies I worked for in the civilian sector would come to me, is because I was so engrossed with learning stuff like that. And I mean, the department paid for it. So why not take advantage of it? And if they came to the town or your state and they're doing 24 departments or 13 departments in your area, you just signed up and you go and your department paid for it. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, Susan, I love to talk about that. I feel kind of awkward because we know who watches the shows, and I don't want to release too much information to give anybody a heads up or a leg up.
Right.
So I just
You don't want to teach criminals how to be better criminals.
Yeah, profile. Yeah, absolutely, Bill. That profiles actually do use those, and it really helps. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about the case?
That was an amazing case. That really was really was something. Even in the videos that you just showed, segments where he was smiling and speaking in the microphone, Jeffrey. Right away, I was getting feeling surprised, and like he's thinking, "Oh, I got this all under control, no problem."
Yeah. So, and I'll say this: he was very confident that what he had in his possession and somebody else's possession, that they weren't going to do too much to him. Because he was going to, everybody was worried. Stop and think. The movie actors, the actresses, the singers, the politicians, the people around the world were like on edge that, oh my God, is my name in the book? Why do you think the FBI didn't release it all? They didn't know how to handle it. And plus, people that were ranked with our government were like, you better not do it. You're not going to release it. Screw them. Put it out there. And then, what was it last year? We got a message from that, what was his helper, that girl's name? You haven't seen the last of Jeffrey.
Maxwell.
Yeah.
Leslie Maxwell. Mm-hmm.
You remember? She's like, you have not seen the last of Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm like, oh. And that shook the whole world. They're like, now what? Just because you took somebody out doesn't mean it's over, because there are somebody somewhere that has what they need to release it. So, hello there, Bev from Alberta, Canada. Welcome. See Wild Bill, ex-military law enforcement. Well, he knows what I'm talking about when it comes to handwriting analysis. And ladies and gentlemen, it is incredible. And it's not hard to learn. It's not. And I got hooked on it. So, but anyways, but yes. But thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. You want to add anything before we wrap up?
Well, there'll probably be more twists and turns as the future comes about, because it's ingrained and it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's sad though is that our society, whether it's America's or whatnot, you crack me up my bald head all the time, but nobody asks the right questions, and everybody stops when they're told to stop. You know, Putin, if Putin wants you out, Putin just says, take him out. They don't put him in jail and fabricate a bunch of clothes and sheets. And no, Putin will take you out. And the reason why I say Putin is you don't mess with Putin. People are afraid of Putin. But with our government, we look at JFK assassination. We look at other people underneath the Clintons. I shouldn't be talking about this on the air, but all these people that mysteriously died of suicide and with the wrong hand. And it's just, and ladies and gentlemen, and even the coroner and the people were like,
one person,
they were dying. Anyway,
one person was, they said he shot himself in the head twice. How do you shoot yourself in the head twice?
How do you do that? You're right, Angela.
That was and he was talking about the CIA.
But people believe it and don't question it. You know, I do think Biden died in 2018. I do think that. We look at people. Mm-hmm. Somebody brought it up in the comments. I'm like, don't get me fired up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Look, Grizzly already flagged, so might as well go for it. Yeah, what the hell, right? I don't trust the government.
I don't trust known liars.
If
I'll
I
put it
die,
that way.
I didn't commit suicide, ladies and gentlemen. I got whacked. But anyways.
Well, it's like this. One thing to remember is not every cookie jar has cookies in it.
Right. Absolutely.
What the hell does that mean? Chris, what does that mean?
Be careful what you do, because you never know what's underneath the the blindfold.
What? Oh my God, I love you, Christopher. That's like biscuit with the brisket or whatever. But ladies and gentlemen,
brisket for the biscuit.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll have a new case. And Wild Bill says I'm flagged. Yeah. Anyways, Wild Bill. But yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. And don't forget, Christopher's got a show tonight, and it's about government. And yeah, it's bad. But from coast to coast, around the world, everybody, Godspeed. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.
Coming to a YouTube channel near you.